We're live.
Cool.
Hello, everybody.
Hola. Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the Resonance Podcast. Coming to you from the range, my name is Logan.
And I am Maddie.
And today we're doing a special AMA live stream with Boyo from LA. How are you doing?
Chilling, man. Just chilling.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hanging out
All
in the
right.
basement.
Very nice. Yeah, we're glad to have
Yeah.
Mr. Boyo here on the episode today. And as you can tell from the title, this is a very special episode of the Resonance Podcast. This is our live AMA that we were doing. So if you guys have any questions you would like to ask, you can drop them in the chat, and we'll be sure to have Mr. Boyo over here answer them. But we do have some questions that we've written down that we'd like to ask you first, if that's okay. And first question here: what has been the biggest challenge or adjustment you've experienced when it comes to no longer doing live shows?
Oh, I mean, I love when I don't tour. It's pretty nice to just like relax and not go out at all because
Yeah.
I you go from playing like shows every night and seeing a lot of people and being oversaturated. I think, or I say you, I mean me. Some people maybe I'm maladjusted or something, but I think I get oversaturated with with uh contact, and then I come home from tours and I just completely disconnect from
Nice.
society. So I feel like this is just one of those like longer periods of that. I don't know. I don't. I feel like I'm weirdly like okay with it.
Well, yeah, I've seen you've been doing a lot of live streams too. Is that something you find is kind of like a little sweet moment in this time of distress, like a little escape and like tie into those physical shows, or is it like what is that
Um,
for you?
well, it's just kind of like like I'm just kind of stir crazy sometimes, and I'm like I'm like recording, and then I'll learn a cover or something, and I'll be like, I don't want to just play this on a loop pedal for an hour to myself. Like maybe I'll share this, and then sometimes I'll regret sharing it. I don't know. It's just fun. It's fun. It's fun to fuck around. It's fun to like
Yeah.
Nice.
to like have a general like outlet when you're kind of losing it a little bit indoors.
Yeah. Well, would you use the time on the stage in a similar way, like trying out new sounds, or is that kind of something exclusive to what's going on now?
Like new sounds in what sense?
Well, like, would you try out a song that was unreleased on the stage, or like try messing with the pedal in front of like a live audience like that, or is that something you've kind of kept to this online uh, type of content?
I don't know. I mean, I think like I don't know. That's a good question. I think we learn stuff based on like the records and like the stuff that's been recorded. Even like it's been more collaborative recently, and it's not like a staunch. We'll change stuff, so it's we can experiment with like arrangements. But yeah, I don't know. I think it definitely it starts with like recording. I think with like the little nugget of an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we'll kind of expand upon it live. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. I get scared of being like jammy, so I feel like
Uh-huh.
try to not jam too hard.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we do have one question in the chat here from Callie. How did you
Cool.
come up with the band name? The lingering question.
Band name. Yeah, I mean, it was I liked it just sounded like it's not supposed to be like a gendered like boy, like a boy or whatever. It sounded honestly like it sounded like a kind of like a nonsense word, like to me. It just sounded like a nonsense word that had like a symmetry to the BOYO. Like I just liked how it looked, and I
Yeah.
liked it all caps, and it just and it just it was just like a I was like, that's the thing, that's the name. and it just popped in my head, and I was like, cool. And then later, I didn't want it to have like implications that it was like, I don't know, whatever. But I just think it just says name, and it just, if you think of it as like a nonsense word, that's more of the vibe.
Nice. All right. Wonderful. It's always great to hear how all these great artists come up with their band names. But
Yeah,
yeah, Logan,
silly.
I pass the torch to you, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Maddie. So I don't know if you have your phone ready or if you're doing the Discord call on your phone. I forgot to ask that beforehand. But we usually ask the artists what they've recently been playing on Spotify. So if you can
I got
kind of pull
Spotify
that
right
out.
here. It's easy peasy. You can just go recently played here. So, well, okay. So I have to put on my old man glasses here. So yeah, it's Interpol, Milo, this hip hop artist that's really
Mhm.
rad. Uh, Death from Above, 1979, which is kind of like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
My friend Julian's band Pink Sock, which is like very sexed out funk music.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
Tiana Taylor, Tori Moi. Yeah, I don't know. Random beach house. Yeah, that's
Heck
it.
yeah.
Kind of weird variation of stuff.
I don't know. I wouldn't say weird. Maddie, you wanna get into what you've been playing recently?
Yeah, where are you guys? I need like new vibes because I just go back to like the early 2000s stuff that I grew up listening to.
Yeah. Maddie, you're muted.
I knew that I was testing you guys.
Yeah, we testing the audio files between us.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I've been getting into a lot of like garage and house music, so I've been getting into like Burial, and I've been really vibing with Daft Punk recently. I recently got back into listening to Daft Punk, and I'm a big fan, I must say. And of course, I can't leave out the 1975. Always a
Yeah.
classic to go back and listen to.
Nice. Great.
Me personally, I have been listening to Divino Nino's 2019 album Foam, basically on repeat the last couple days. I've been getting back into that. Such a great album. Actually, had the pleasure of seeing them relatively, I guess, near when things got shut down. I guess it was one of the last concerts I saw over in El Paso at the Lowbrow. They're great.
Lowbrow is the best. That's my favorite venue to play.
Yeah, I've seen you guys play them.
Well, I have another follow-up question. This is another banger. What has been your most recent vinyl record purchase that you can remember?
Oh, I mean, it's like sitting right there. Um, it's Atlas Sound. It's like Let the Blind Lead,
Nice.
though. It's a long Let the Blind Lead those who can see but not feel. Whatever the title is. Yeah, that album. That album. Uh,
What's the most recent snow globe purchase? I can see the
I
wall
don't
painting
know.
behind you.
It's my dad's. So there. I mean, he would just go to like these like swap meets and just get like these bulk snow globes. I don't know. They're all old. They're all really old, weird, vintage, strange, kind of creepy if you look at them too close. Snow globes. But yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Snow globes, nice.
We got another fan question from Maddie. What is your favorite genre of music?
It must be a different Maddie. That's not me.
Oh, my favorite genre of music. I mean, that's hard. I think it's good. It's like your mood.
Definitely.
But like I think my like. I mean, I don't know, because like I feel like people a lot of times they go like, oh, like I don't listen to country, and I try not to be that person because I like early country music. I think like Johnny Cash is cool, and Loretta Lynn and Dolly
Definitely.
Parton, and I don't know. And I mean, I listen to a lot more hip hop than I probably do indie rock, um, just because that was what I like. My brother listened to and kind of what I grew up on. I think culturally too. I don't. Yeah, I just like it was just kind of what I resonated with, and indie rock had more like there was more like I picked and choose what I don't know. Hip hop, I just feel like there's way more artists that I like their whole discographies. Where there's indie rock bands that I like select records.
Yeah.
That makes
Well,
any
do you
sense.
tie more that diverse field of interest into what you make too? Is that does that reflect on the music you make?
Maybe subconsciously, but I hope. I mean, I try not to like interpolate too much like hip hop or whatever. I mean, like I maybe subtly, but like I feel like it'd be weird and out of place in what I do, um, because it would just sound kind of like I was kind of trying to. I don't know. I don't want to be too genre bending in like a
Mm,
in like a
Yeah,
unpleasant way. I want to I want to make
of
stuff
course.
that sounds like it's I'm not trying to do it in some like scientific way. Like I like to make music that I don't want to listen to, but I know I know my strengths and weaknesses, and I definitely cannot like I think like I was talking to my friend today actually, and I was talking about how like rapping I think is more impressive than like being a virtuoso at an instrument, and I that's like I know I never could rap. I just don't have the I could barely remember my own lyrics, so
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah,
rap. Like it's just not something I could do, and I think it's something I admire, and I think it's something I think is like a superpower. You know.
definitely. Well,
nice.
I've got another question before we get into one of these other fan questions. Um, I've really noticed that your current or previous work has really evoked strong emotions of like isolation and those kinds of things. And I just kind of curious on like how that narrative has developed alongside almost forced isolation and you know the mandatory lockdown from the rest of the world.
Um, it was a different time. I mean, like I wrote it, and I was like, it's weird because there's a comfort in forced isolation because everybody's in it together.
Mm,
But
Yeah,
when I had like a isolation due to illness or isolation due to yeah, just due to not feeling well and like feeling other than it was a weird that was strange. And I'm not saying I think a pandemic is good. I'm not saying it's awful, but I think there's a togetherness that every like I have friends that that I have more. I communicate more, and there's a more connectivity that I have now than I did then. Where I have like friend, like we watch.
definitely.
I go on Discord, for instance, and I watch. I we watched I watched Star Wars movies with like members of my band and friends and stuff, and like
That's cool.
we like nerd out and watch like Batman cartoons and shit. So it's like just trying to stay connected and being a person still. And I think that time I was not connected in a lot of ways. I was just touring and then shutting
Yeah,
off.
a lot of sense.
well, we do have another fan question here from Joshua. Do you mix slash produce all of your music standalone, or do you work with studios slash labels?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mix it all. The new record is the only exception. There's this guy, his name's Chad Copeland, and he mixes all of the records for this band Broncho, and he also
Oh,
does he did that Carrie and Lowell record by Sufjan Stevens, and he does a lot of cool stuff. And he kind of like we kind of co-mixed it because it's like I add all the effects and I add shit, and then he kind of
yeah.
ran it through tape. So it
Mm,
was like
nice.
it was kind of like a marriage of like a process. It sounded kind of like what I do mixed with like what he does because I was very influenced by his mixing, like Broncho's drums, especially when I was in high school. I was like always trying to get that snare sound. So it was crazy to have like the dude who mixed those records actually take my samples and uh, stems and like get it there. So
Pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, Broncher has some great discography. And it's pretty cool that
yeah, they're
you've
a
been able
great band, good people.
to work those relationships in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I once again, Logan, pass the torch. Hand it off.
All right. Thank you, Maddie. So here, do you have any hometown favorite artists you'd maybe like to shed some light on?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good people. There's trying to think of like new people. Um, I mean, there's my friend Jamie Brooks. She writes really great songs. Um, Trying to think. My friend Maddie. She has a project called Your Angel. That's really great. Um,
Hmm.
it's like really like big, like kind of sprawling dream pop. Uh, yeah, like uh, Hudson, who plays in my band, as like solo music under his name. That's Hudson Buckley. I think it's really sick. Pink
Didn't he
Sock, my
just?
friend Julian.
Yeah. Didn't
Um,
Hudson just release his first standalone EP?
yeah, and it's super sick. So yeah, everybody
Awesome.
check that shit out. And yeah, so that's sick. Fucking Pink Sock, my friend Julian is super sick too. So yeah, all that shit. I would check all that shit out, and
Heck yeah.
that would be like the like condensed playlist of LA. I would say in a
We'll uh,
nutshell.
we'll we'll link all these artists in the final video
Yeah,
after it's.
link that
Link
shit.
down below.
Yeah.
Link in bio, dude. Link
Yeah.
in.
um. All right, Maddie. Do you want to get into some other stuff while we wait for some
Yeah.
fan interaction?
Let's get into some other stuff. Now, I have a question, and this does pertain to when you guys tour. Who controls the music in the van when you're touring?
Ooh.
Who's got the
I think
aux?
it's democratic. It's very democratic.
All right.
That's cool.
Because it's like there's always been different iterations of our like a band in terms of like how big or small it is depending on like who go on tour and stuff. So it's like if it's all five of us, like when it was the huge band, yeah, I mean it's diverse. You gotta give everybody the aux. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not just because I like just because I was the genesis of like nobody gives a shit. Like we're all
Yeah.
sharing the aux. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody's boss, dude. We're all with the live band. That's the cool thing too. It's like we all became very democratic, and I think that's a really beautiful thing. But it's
Nice.
also yeah, I think
I think
yeah
that's the perfect way to approach that situation.
yeah.
That's definitely a good way to go about it. Uh, when you get into some more music creation right now, you said that you've been doing a lot of collaboration lately. Uh, what is someone that comes to your mind when you think of like a dream collaboration?
Oh my god. I mean, uh, jeez Louise. Um, I mean, I got like I don't know because I also have this weird thing where I don't know if I'd like to meet my idols.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
because like I remember like on Instagram like I noted like Cult Records like followed me and I was really excited and that was like Julian Casablancas' label and I remember
Yeah.
I messaged them and I was like I was like is this Julian what the like what and obviously it's not they like sent like black hearts back and they're like fucking with me and then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, you probably I don't know if like I would want to meet like Julian Cox. Like I don't know if that would be a good thing. Like I don't like maybe it'd be cool,
Yeah.
maybe it wouldn't be cool.
Mm.
Or, like Tom York, I don't know if that would be cool. I don't know if that would be like maybe it would be beautiful. Maybe I would feel terrible and really inferior.
Mm.
Um, uh, yeah, I don't know. It's like it's such a weird loaded thing in my head.
Yeah. Fair question. Well, we do have one fan question that we'd like to get in here. What is the or your favorite song that you've ever made, and why? Kind of the bombshell question there.
Oh. I mean, I don't think I have like a favorite. It's like it's hard to have a favorite because it's like uh, certain ones are just. I think I don't get like. there's certain ones that I'll get tired of and I'll like want to cycle out of
Yeah.
a set, or that I'll listen to and I'll be like, oh geez, that was fucking lame. But
Mhm.
there's certain ones that I just am very proud of consistently, and I think that's an interesting thing to think about. And like there's like a song off of like the first record I made. I think I made it when I was like 18, so I made it a long time ago, and it's called like "Won't Shake." And in the recording I made, it was super like lo-fi and like clipping, and it was just, it sounded really fucked up, and I didn't really mix it well, but I
Mhm.
liked that about it. And so yeah, there's just something about that recording and that song that I always was proud of. And when I listen back to it, I always like, I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Like young me, like accidentally made something cool. That's fun.
Nice. Well, I guess sort
Feel
of
like
as
you
a
might have also been. Oh, go
oh yeah,
go
I was
ahead,
gonna say just
Maddie.
as like a follow up to that, what's your favorite song of yours to play live during shows?
Um, well, it's the ones that the people like. It's the ones that people I think react to.
Yeah.
It's just because I think it's like the symbiosis of like like when you're playing shows, it's like a lot about like what people feel. You know, if you're just playing like one sided and you're just like doing like shoegaze noise jams, and people are just like, all right, like it's not gonna be fun for anybody. But so yeah, it's like just like the it's like a hit or miss. It's like our funkiest kind of like
Yeah.
the one
Yeah.
where people sing it back to us, and there's like call and response sections and shit. So it's like
Mhm.
it's almost like made it like I didn't think about it when I was making it, but like it's like it was like it's like perfect to end a set, or it's like a live.
Mhm.
It's just like a live staple. So it's always just fun. That one never is a dud live for
Nice.
some
Yeah.
reason.
Well, kind of touching back on what you said about the rawness of that other song that you liked so much. I feel like even though you said like you accidentally created that and it's kind of become a favorite for you, feel like it might also been like an accidental part of the pioneer into that type of music in general too. Like the whole bedroom studio vibe of songs that are getting really popular nowadays. And I mean, it's kind of cool that you were on the forefront of that.
Thanks, man. I mean, yeah, I definitely don't consider myself that way, but I appreciate it. I think sometimes you just like happy accidents, I think, are cool, you know,
Definitely.
and that's how I look at it. But thank you. I appreciate that. It's a high compliment.
Nice, nice. Well, another question here from us. What is your favorite setting slash background to listen to music? Whether it be in the car, maybe uh, locked up in your room, or in the bathroom. I don't know, whichever.
In the back, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I just like driving and listening to music. Like just when I'm not in like a rush, you know, when
Mhm.
I'm not in traffic, or like when I'm just kind of aimlessly driving. And there's like a playlist or a record that I like am very excited to get into
Yeah,
the zone for, and I can just drive. And you know, and you know, I live close to the ocean, which is really awesome. So I can just like go by, like drive on this Pacific Coast Highway and like
Nice. That is
listen to
cool.
a record. It's just it's like that's how, you know, and I never take that for granted. It's super cool, like listening to like an Animal Collective record or something, and just driving
definitely. Yeah,
uh,
they're a
on
great
the
band.
PCH. You know, it's pretty bizarrely beautiful. Yeah.
All
Um,
right.
so another one that I have prepared for you is what is the role like what role does music production play in terms of self therapy for you, and like how do you see that translating to your audience, if any?
In terms of like the music itself, or like if they're producers in their own right. In
Well,
terms
like
of
how do you see the whole writing process, or you know, playing shows tying into helping you through certain situations?
oh I mean, it's my only. I mean, it's. I don't think I could function without it. I think it's pretty much the outlet. You know, I think you know, I'm very lucky. I think you know, I'm not. I think a lot of people. I'm very blessed in life. It's not like I don't have like a terribly hard life. You know, I just have neuroses and weird shit that like people have, and and I didn't figure out that I needed therapy or other stuff till way later. So I had music and performing, as a young kid. I always did it. I always had bands since I was like 12. So yeah, it was always cathartic and stuff. And then now I don't. Now it's like more. It's like I have a healthier relationship with it. I think even because I'm like more balanced. I think and more of an adult about the way I deal with just shit in general.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have another fan question, and this is a great question. Baked beans, yes or no?
Baked beans. You're
Baked
asking?
beans, yeah, yes or no?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Heinz baked beans.
Nice.
I used to, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to eat like I don't know if it's a weird thing, but my dad used to like make it with like cut up hot dogs.
That's not weird.
I don't know. It was good, man. I was down. So that was like it was a meal in my house for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
We can kind of
Confirmed
use that
pro
into
beans.
pro beans. Yes. Yes on baked beans. We can use that as a segue into what your go-to gas station snack is on the road.
I got weird, man. It got gross. Like I started getting into like weird like jerky and like cheese combinations and stuff. I don't
Nice.
know why. Because I just wanted like the salt uh fix, like when you want that like jolt of like I don't know. I just wanted something.
Yeah,
I wanted savory and not sweet, I guess. And
Yeah.
I wanted some, and I didn't trust like the sandwiches that are all like decaying and the
They're fossilized in
and, like
the
in the
display
beds of
cabinet.
water that they have. So it's like instead I was just like, let me get the fucking the jerky with the little like
Yeah.
this little partner cheddar cheese, and it's just fine. It's whatever. So that was my thing. But I think now it's like a little sourdough daddies, the little guys.
Okay.
Like they're what are they called? Just like little sourdough like chunks, pretzels. I don't know what
I
to
don't know
call it.
if I'm I don't know
I'm
if
not
I'm familiar
with
with
They're like squares, like kind of sourdough squares, like pretzel squares kind of thing. I don't know.
like
I
from
have to like look them up, man.
yeah,
It's like sourdough
we'll
chunk pretzel things. Like
we'll
you'll
have
find
some. We'll have
yeah,
some
we'll link
on
that
the
in the
show.
description.
they're called
Yeah.
like spiders. My brain. Yeah.
No, you're good.
All right. Well, here's a question. Once again from chat, and this is probably the question to end all questions: SpongeBob or Seinfeld? Which is better?
I mean, I'll say SpongeBob. I know that's crazy,
Nice.
but I'm sorry to say, but
Mhm.
like
That's not crazy. You're
I just
perfectly
didn't.
That's
sane.
As much as like
uh
I had freaking Jason in my video and all that stuff, but I grew up with SpongeBob, and I'm of the generation that cares way more about like the tension and the
Yeah.
in the between Miss Puff and him, Mr. Krabs. So it's like I care way more about that than like a bunch of people arguing about nonsense.
Hey,
I'm
that's
sorry to
fair.
say I'm with Seinfeld gang in the
I know.
chat.
Seinfeld is great, but SpongeBob, it has a place in my heart, and the aesthetic, like the sweet Hawaiian,
Yeah.
like the music, it just makes me feel so at home. I love it so much. And Seinfeld, I think Seinfeld reminds me of like my dad, and just like, just people arguing, but it's great. But it's
I
great. It's
guess.
undeniable. It's undeniable. It's a great thing. It's a great thing.
All
No,
right.
no knock to the class. The class.
Yeah. We can kind of get into some advice you'd pass on to some starting musicians, or something that maybe you were told that really stuck with you, that you think would help people out.
I just say make as much stuff as possible. Like just make stuff, make things. Like if you have writer's block with songs, like then stop making a song for a day and go and like take pictures with a disposable camera, or like I don't know, write a script, or how to keep making stuff, and like keep the perpetual motion machine of your brain going, and I don't think
Definitely.
you'll stop feeling inspired if that happens, because that's, I think, the way to do it. Hopefully, or I'm crazy. I don't know.
No, I think that's great advice. Um, I mean, that's kind of what we're doing here too. Is like we're adapting and making new stuff. And
Yeah, and
I mean,
it's
we feel.
beautiful. It's a great thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely couldn't do it without amazing talent like you to keep it driving forward. So
Try my best. Try my best.
All right. Well, Mr. Logan, any other
Mr. Maddie,
questions? Any other questions we got?
that's all I had prepared for today. So I mean, if we have any more questions from chat, we can get those in before we wrap things up.
Let's see. Seinfeld or Family Guy? Someone didn't ask that, but that's just sort of the evolution of the other question that popped into my mind.
I mean, Seinfeld for sure.
Nice.
Definitely Seinfeld.
Like, come on, come on. Like, that's not,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like,
Yeah, that's no brainer.
no brainer. No brainer. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, my last follow up then. Parks and Rec or The Office?
The Office.
Interesting. Would you care to elaborate on that answer?
I think just because I like both of the English and the U.S. Office is plural. I don't know, office I. And I just think they're both. And I also just I don't like where The Office. Like, I think Parks and Rec never got as bad as The Office did. Like, it stayed more consistent. But I have more nostalgia for like the early beautiful days.
Yeah.
The Office.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think
I don't know.
Parks and Rec was more consistent, and it ended. I don't think it had as many, like, I don't think it, like,
Its lows were never as low as The Office.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Definitely.
I don't know, that last season of Parks and Rec where they were in the future felt like they took what was perfectly wrapped up and like real.
Oh, you're right. I just thought The Office, then once they just like went with all, like, they started like throwing all the different bosses at us and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It just like some of them were entertaining and good actors and great cameos, but it just started to become this like oversaturated freaking mess. You know what I mean? And I was just kind of like, oh yeah. You know, I missed the like dynamic of that original freaking, ensemble.
Yeah.
And now they're both gone off Netflix. Gotta subscribe to Peacock
Really?
now.
What?
Yeah. NBC streaming service.
Oh, there you see everybody. Everything is everybody's like taking their own shows and bringing it to their services. They're realizing that's where the money is. That is where the money is.
It's all right. Community's on Netflix now, so I guess that's something.
Community was great. I'm a Donald Glover lifer, so
yeah. We have another fan question from April, who is watching from work, who says, "I saw you open for Vansire last summer at Lowbrow. Great show, by the way. How did you go about arranging that show?"
Like making it happen. If that's what you mean. Like, Vansire was like we shared the same booker, and then we just became. We're also just still like we don't have that same booker anymore, but we just became also really great pals, and they're just lovely, just like the loveliest human beings. And so we just decided to tour together, and it made complete sense. And we were just like, it was a pretty arduous long tour, but it wouldn't rather do it with anybody else because they were lovely. And Lowbrow was so fun. That was a memorable. Every time we go there, it just nice. People are so welcoming. So yeah,
awesome.
It's always awesome.
Very
well. Kind of my last question, I guess. Now that this has developed a little further, is when you do get back to planning your tour, do you plan on stopping in New Mexico at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. my friend who I mentioned project earlier, Maddie, her project, Your Angel, she's actually from Santa Fe. And
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
so yeah, I've always wanted to go to New Mexico and heard cool things. So yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream of, I heard Meow Wolf is dope,
Oh
and
yeah.
now I
Yeah.
hear now I hear great things about this lovely place. So yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you guys are all definitely welcome.
yeah. Please, yeah, you know, I will call the bluff. I will show up with all my bags, and you'll have to take me. So yeah,
All right, deal.
awesome.
All
Well,
right.
All right,
thanks.
Maddie.
Well, I think on that note, it's about to wrap up this third episode of the Resonance podcast. Thank you, everybody in chat, for coming out and for asking these great questions. Of course, SpongeBob or Seinfeld, legendary question, baked beans, yes or no. Another great one. We hope to have the bangers coming for the future as well. And again, thank you to Boyo as well for joining us. It has been a pleasure. And do you have
Thank you.
anything? Do you have anything you'd like to say to the audience before we sign off here?
Be safe and sane, and just keep going. It's a weird world right now, but we all just gotta do our part to keep everybody safe.
Definitely.
I know it sounds banal. I don't know.
All right. Well, the best advice, yeah, you can give anybody. Stay sane out there, everybody. And yeah, thank you all for coming to today's episode. We'll see you all in the next one.